got a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
You a human being with a soul, or a soul and a human being?
You know, I can see it's like I have a weird concept of how things work. I think consciousness is kind of there, inherent in the universe. I think most people call that God. Now, the particular flavor of consciousness that is you has to do, I think of it as like, there's a stream out there and we're a radio that kind of picks it up. That it was there before you were born and it's going to be there after you die, but without that body, you don't get it in the way that we conventionally think of consciousness. I think that's where people, when a lot of these religions say, oh, we're going to go to heaven, I think that's what they mean is they're, well, now that your consciousness is not trapped in this body, in this one perspective, now you can see what, like experience things like God experiences and stuff, everywhere at once, and or being able to see the world through other people's eyes. Mm-hmm. I think that it works kind of like two-party authentication with cryptography, that your body is that unique signature that allows that particular stream of consciousness to manifest within you and stuff like that. Okay. But I guess to answer it in the context that you would, I would say that, I'm a soul with a body. Mm-hmm. I'm a consciousness that is inside this meat suit that I'm driving. I'm just going to get a little mark on you really quick.
Meat suit.
The meat suit made out of stardust.
I like it.
Never heard of it referred to like that.
Oh yeah. No, I said, I'm pretty, I kind of take that kind of idea on it and stuff. I mean, it's easy to fall into the materialist and reductive idea that, oh, we are merely matter, and that we are not, incredible beings of light, and there is no God and all this shit. And now I'm not conventionally religious, or anything like that, I feel like a lot of these religions are trying to tell you something, but they don't quite, it's like, with the understanding that we have of things.
Right.
But after time goes on, we get better understandings of stuff, just like how I would never have had the analogy of like two-party authentication with cryptography. If that shit didn't exist, then I wouldn't be able to analogize my concept of the soul as that way. Now, with better understanding of it, I'm sure people in the future will have an even better understanding of it and use better language than that to describe it. But I think we're all kind of describing the same thing, Yeah. In certain respects, at least, Yeah. But of course, the number one thing about my ideology is I reserve the right to change my mind any given time because I got new access to new information. Right. The worst thing is trying to hold on to some old paradigm of thought that you had when you were young because you had different, you hadn't had as much access to information, you hadn't had as many interactions and stuff. I mean, there's a reason you're hard pressed to find a person under the age of 20, You're hard pressed to find somebody under the age of 20 who doesn't self-identify as like, kind of liberal. But you're also hard pressed to find anybody over the age of 40 who doesn't self-identify as conservative, I mean, because it's like, oh, well, you get new access to information, you change your mind about things. And at the same time, too, you don't see very many old folks who aren't religious. Like my granddad spent his whole life, and I never saw that man go to church. I never saw that man say anything even remotely close to anything that could be construed as religious. But here he is. 88 years old, and he goes to church and stuff like that, and part of a fellowship and stuff, and it's like, people do this, people, and you could say that, oh, it's a weakness, a fear of death and turning towards somebody who's got answers, or you could see it as a deal that like, hey, over the course of a life well lived and wisdom gained, that maybe it's a thing that, realize that no, we are not just, animals with a higher degree of understanding as to what the hell's going on. No, we are something more than that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the case. I don't know, man. I'm only, I'm still middle-aged and I'm still trying to figure it out, but it does seem that there's a lot more mysterious going on than what a lot of folks are willing to admit to, But then also, too, it's like, I think it can be a little too much too, where some folks kind of go too far over into the idea of the spiritual world and stuff. I'll tell you, I always get nervous whenever somebody, like for instance, you know, I got the kid's car worked on here not too long ago, broke down and stuff. Dude, take it in, it's supposed to be a $400 fix. It goes from $400 to $1,700, and the dude's telling me, oh no, but here's why you can trust me. I am very religious. And I'm like, okay, you know, because what that usually means is, for a lot of folks is, well, you know, a lot of people will wind up taking the position that, well, I can just do whatever the hell I want because, you know, whatever my God will forgive me or justify it somehow or some sort of shit like that. And it's like where the, you know, the upside of the materialist and reductive people who are like looking at us basically as just, you know, meat bots, you know, they understand morality on a different way, you know, that it's that in their eyes there is no eternity, so you better be a good person now because there is nobody who's going to forgive you, you know,
or get what you can now.
Right, that's the other side of it too, you know, where it's like, and you know, I think that either one of those approaches can be misused or used correctly. It all depends on who you are, you know, what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, like it or not, most people's morality is dictated by, well, if it's good for me, then it's good. And if it's not good for me, then it's bad, you know. And people will throw all these high-minded ideals out the window when it comes to, well, what the hell do you mean? I got to share? Hell, I got 3 cars. You think I want to give any of them up? No. You know, but at the same time, I recognize that that's not fair. You know, the whole world can't have 3 cars. Hell, the whole world can't have a car.
Right.
You know, right. So but that means that I'm somewhat comfortable with the idea of taking more, and I'll justify it in all different kinds of ways. Right. You know, just like other people will justify other things in all kinds of ways. They might want my cars, and they'll tell me all kinds of ways why they're justified on it and stuff. You know, and I'm like, hey, I get it, you know, we all just trying to get things and stuff here, you know, keep ourselves safe, you know, and look out for our families and whatnot. It's nothing personal. At least I feel like with most folks, it really ain't personal, you know. It's like, it's just, you know, gotta look out for yourself. There's a limited amount of time.